Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Woodall. I am a high school autism teacher here in the state of California, and I'm seeking to further my education and seek out the autism credential for teaching. So I am taking this course, and I have compiled here a list of national and local resources for autism spectrum disorder. First up is our national resources. The first one we have is Autism Speaks. This site offers a bunch of resources, and it's really great. They have a 100-day kit for an introductory information for a new diagnosis. They have a resource hotline and information so that you can talk to a real live person to seek additional information. They have opportunities for grants for a whole bunch of different things. As soon as you receive that diagnosis, you can begin to become eligible for those. They have information on early signs, screenings, associated conditions, and interventions. So no matter what part of the process you're in right now, you can seek some sort of help from Autism Speaks in furthering your knowledge on the different processes that you're looking for. And they definitely have some scientific journals there also. Autism Speaks is a really well-known company who does a lot of work in serving our community with autism spectrum disorder. It's a grassroots, it's a autism awareness, science, and advocacy organization, and they provide a comprehensive resource guide for all states. So in the state of California, you can find specific information on resources that are here and local to you. Our next organization is called the Autism Society. The Autism Society is another really well-known organization who is working with people with autism spectrum disorder. They have a lot of information on treatment, education, resource, and advocacy. They support people with autism spectrum disorder with employment, education, healthcare, finances, and advocacy. They provide information on legislation as it's related to people with autism, both past legislation and new up-to-date information also. This organization is a grassroots organization, and their main mission is to work to increase public awareness about day-to-day issues that people with autism spectrum disorder have. This organization is well known for partnering with the AMC movie theater and creating a low sensory experience for people with autism to go to the movies. So that's just one example of the wonderful things that they do, but they're really just making the world more accessible to people with autism spectrum disorder by really putting on that lens and making a lot of resources more friendly and available to people with autism spectrum disorder. Another resource, I really like this one. It's called My Autism Team, and it's really a social media platform for people or for families of people with autism spectrum disorder. So this is cool because it connects families with similarities. So if you have a 3-year-old who was just diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, they're going to connect you to someone not too far away from you or within some sort of close proximity of a very similar situation. That being said, if you're facing the transition from school to, community living, you're going to find someone with those similarities and similar concerns so that you can kind of connect with them. You won't feel alone, and you will feel like you have someone who you can share resources with, gain information from, and just make some real connections so that you realize that there are so many other people going through exactly what you're going through, have the same concerns for their loved one, and are working towards gaining as much information as possible. So it's really important to have support regardless of the point of life that you're in and what challenges you're facing currently. Our next national resource is the Department of Developmental Services. This is a government website for service eligibility. It connects people to local resources, and it also provides newsletters and important calendar events for people with disabilities. This is a government website, so this is really going to be the first contact that parents have with coming up with eligibility for services, and for those government supports that we have in place. Our next one is the Center for Parent Information and Resources, and this is really great because it has parent training and some webinars and articles and stuff like that. They also have information and materials right on their website, and then they have connection to local service providers. So whether you're looking for technology or help with speech or help with sensory issues, they'll be able to connect you with someone who's a little bit more local to you. Next up, we have 3 local resources. Our first one is the ARC. This one is the Central Valley ARC. The ARC. They are located in Fresno, which is really close to me. It's only maybe 15 minutes from me, so I feel really lucky. But I believe there are 5 different places in California. This one is the Central Valley location. So this connects to adult day programs, advocacy, employment, community integration, and community living. Our next one is the Central Valley Regional Center. We call this a CVRC, and this connects again to adult day programs, advocacy, employment, community integration, and community living. Helps parents make connections to service providers and medical providers, and provides information and supports for residential options also if needed. And then our last local resource is the Resources for Independence of the Central Valley. And this site offers support for in-home services, peer mentoring and youth empowerment services, training for independent living skills, and transition services. That transition stage of the student to a young adult is really an important part of the process, and it's a challenge for parents and the people with autism spectrum disorder to kind of figure out. So these are some great resources that can help with that transition. Again, I teach high school, so that is one of my primary focuses, but also those independent living skills, but they can also offer additional resources regardless of, maybe you're looking at the transition from first diagnosis into receiving services, or whichever stage you're at. These are some great resources that can help you feel not alone, feel like you have access to resources, and a bunch of information. So thank you.